Hello everyone. Today we are talking about the vocabulary section in Module E Bagrut exam. As we mentioned before, and as I told you before, the vocabulary section in Module E is 30 points, which is 30% of your grade. The number of words that you should know from the elementary school to high school is as follows. In the elementary school, you should know 1,200 words. In the junior high school, you should know 2,000 words. And in high school, what we call the proficiency level, you should know 2,200 words. The overall words that you should know by the end of the 11th grade is supposed to be more or less approximately 5,400 lexical items, words, chunks, and phrases. Now, what is vocabulary? How do we define vocabulary? Vocabulary are the words of a language. What do they include? They include single lexical items, single words, with specific meanings. For example, importance is a single lexical item. Smile is a single lexical item. Run, swim, eat is a single lexical item. They also include what we call lexical phrases or chunks. When you say this idiom, as a matter of fact, or in conclusion, this is not a single lexical item, it is a chunk or a phrase. Okay, so why is vocabulary important? Why is it important that we should know more vocabulary as much as possible? If you don't have enough vocabulary, first of all, you cannot understand others or express your own ideas. So in this mutual relationship of communicating with others, if you don't have enough vocabulary, then it would be difficult for you to understand what others are saying, and it would be difficult for you to convey your ideas to the other people. Vocabulary has a very strong impact on what does it strongly affect. It affects the way people communicate, how you communicate with other people, how you understand. This is very important, reading comprehension. And it affects your writing, how you write. It affects also your listening. When you listen to a speech, when you listen to a song, when you listen to an audiobook, the more vocabulary you know, the better your understanding of the listening text is. So you need vocabulary to communicate in a proper way with other people, interact in social settings and real life situations, okay? You need this for real life situations when you interact with people who speak English all over the world and in the country. To read more effectively, to understand what you are reading, if you are reading a book, if you are reading an article, if you are reading a newspaper article, if you are reading a news article, anything. So it helps you read more effectively. And to write, as we said. Now, vocabulary knowledge. We are talking about three forms of vocabulary knowledge: the form, the meaning, and the use. Form, what is form? The pronunciation, how the word is pronounced, the pronunciation, the spelling, the prefix, the suffix, the root word. Let's take an example. Look at this word. This is an adjective. It says uncommunicative, uncommunicative. If you want to analyze this word, to take it into pieces, you'll find that you have the un, which is the prefix. You have the communicate, which is the root word. You have the IVE, which is the suffix. And the pronunciation is uncommunicative. Okay? So the prefix un means negative or opposite. The root verb, the base verb, is communicate. The suffix IVE, which we have here, means that someone is able to do something. So uncommunicative means someone who is not able to communicate. So that's why it's important that we understand the form of the verb, of the word, which includes how we pronounce it, how we spell it, how we use prefix, suffix, and root word. Meaning and use. The meaning is the literal meaning, the translation of the word or phrase into al-one. For example, when we say communication, it means in Arabic al-one, first language, ittisalat. Ideas and associations. Ideas and associations that come to your mind when you hear the word or phrase. Okay, when you hear the word, for example, festival, what comes to your mind? People who are celebrating, people who have a party, people who are running, I don't know what, dancing or something like that. Okay, how to use the word? This is the use phrase. How to use it? In what context is the word or phrase used? Context means siyaq. Okay, the register. The register is the word choice. Which words do we use when we talk about a certain thing? Correct and incorrect use of appropriate register. Let's look at this. The old woman was strongly affected by the accident. Is this a good choice of register? Is it a good choice of word? The old woman was strongly affected by the accident. What do you think? Of course not. This is incorrect. Okay, let's look at this. The old woman was strongly affected by the accident. What do you think? Excellent. This is correct because we need to know that affected, here you use the verb 3 and we don't have this verb 3 of affected. The verb is affect and the noun is effect. So we need to use a verb, not a noun here. Okay, and this is totally wrong. Let's look at another example. Some non-profit organizations defend innocence. Do you think this is correct or incorrect? Absolutely, it's incorrect. Let's look at this. Some non-profit organizations defend innocent people. This is correct, absolutely, because you should know that after the word, the adjective, you need a noun. Here you don't have a noun, innocence, so you cannot say innocence. In English, we don't have plural form of adjectives, okay? We don't say these people are talls, or these people are shorts. These people are tall, these people are short, these people are funny, okay? So we have to add a noun after the adjective here, as we said. So you need to know 5,400 words approximately by the end of the 11th grade, as I mentioned before. Now, this huge bank of words, you will acquire this huge bank of words from the elementary school to the ابتدائية until the end of the 11th grade, okay? You have to make sure that you know all the words of band 2 and band 3 vocabulary lists. You all know about band 2 and band 3, these vocabulary lists that I have introduced into the classrooms, okay? And all the other teachers did as well. I prepared them for you and I translated them into Arabic, and you could go to Quizlet and find a lot of multiple choice questions and exercises, true or false questions, and you can practice, and you can also listen to the pronunciation of these words. Okay, let's move on. These are the two links you can find. You all have these links. I'm just reminding you that to use them in order to make sure that you revise the vocabulary all the time, because practice also helps you to remember the meanings of these words and remember the way these words are used and are pronounced. Make sure that you go over them every time and then. Okay. Module E Vocabulary 2021. First of all, you cannot, during the exam, you cannot use a dictionary, as we said. In this year, because of the COVID-19 case that we are facing, you have 400 words for the e-pilot. These 400 words were taken from band 3. So you have to make sure that you know them. If you know them very well, this is called the Mikud that you have to know for this year, okay? Doesn't mean that you don't have to know all the other words, but these words are going to be the primary focus in the Bagrut itself. And I also prepared them for you on Quizlet. For example, you can go there and you can find them. These are the 400 words and chunks that you can revise and practice. You can see the meanings of these words, of course. You can also practice these words, learn these words, write these words, spell these words, and test yourself. You have also, as you all know, a game or a match that you can play and make sure that you understand. All right? Now, let me go back to the final slide here. Module E Bagroot test. Okay, how does a Module E Bagroot test look like? All right, let's look at this form of the Bagroot, and this is let me enlarge this. Okay, as you all see, this is Module E Bagroot from KITES 2019, as you can see here, summer 2019. Okay, it has two Girsaot, two versions, A and B. ماشي بخنا. Length of the exam time allotted to the exam is Sha'ava Rida, 1.5 hours, 75 minutes. Here you have two chapters or two parts. Part 1 is reading comprehension, which is 70%. Part 2 is vocabulary, which is 30%. Okay, I'm not going to go into the reading comprehension because we did it in a previous video. I'm just going to show you this. Since you cannot use a dictionary here, if there are difficult words, they put these words for you here, and they give you the meanings of these words in your L1 first language. Okay. Now let me go and show you the second part. Here is the second part. Okay. For example, if you have they ask you to, what do they ask you to do? We have 5 questions, 8 to 12. Now, in each question, there are 6 items, words or chunks, and 3 definitions. In each question, match 3 of the items, 1 to 6, to the definitions on the right. Okay, write the number. For example, this is given to you as an example. You have 6 words or chunks, and you have 3 definitions. You need to match the words to the definitions. So it says here, cars, houses, and trucks moving along the road. It's number 4, traffic. This is given for you, okay, as an example. Shows days, weeks, and months in the year. It's calendar, number 1. And something you are given when you win a race is a prize, okay? Now I prepared for you. Let me show you this exercise that I prepared for you. All right, just a second. All right, let's look at this. We did this. Let's look at this. For example, we have to separate, to create, to display, to dig, to offer, and to admit. Okay, these are the words as an example. Let's try to match these definitions with only 3 of these words. For example, to make something new that did not exist before. Which one of these words? Is it separate? Is it create? Is it display? Is it dig? Is it offer? Is it admit? Of course, is to create. So we write number 2. This is the way we solve the Bagroot. We only write the number. To say that you have done something wrong, the second one, to say that you have done something wrong, it means, of course, to admit. Very good, to admit. It's not to separate, not to display, not to dig, and not to offer. It's to admit, so it's number 6. Good. To put something where people can see it, put something where people can see it, so it's to display. 3. Good. So this is what I wanted to show you, and I wanted to show you a sample of Module E in the Bagroot and how we go about doing it and solving the vocabulary exercises in it. This is all that I want to share with you this time. I wish you all the best, and stay safe and stay healthy.